Hey guys, woke up this morning thinking about identity politics. I am not qualified to have opinions on any form of politics. Nonetheless, YouTube keeps telling me to watch videos about identity politics, and I comply. So I watch video after video of it. I pay way too much attention to it. I even, when I'm on Twitter, I just try to bypass the search. What they're advertising on search, it's usually some form of identity politics, and I don't like it. And one of the things I really dislike about it is how it removes innocence from all forms of all of our surface traits are weaponized, and all of our behaviors with each other are weaponized, whether it's whiteness, blackness, uh, our attempts at getting along with each other. Like, I think it's kind of gay when people say, I don't see color, I'm colorblind. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of dopey. It kind of sounds stupid and pretentious, but now it's also like, well, actually, if you say you're colorblind, that's problematic. And, so it's like, just stop. Just stop. And it's this obsession with picking fights that cannot be won, and also a refusal just to live and let live. And I'm a big proponent of, if you don't get along with somebody, if you don't agree with them, leave them alone. You can debate with them if you both want to debate, but realize that I think we're up to 6 billion, maybe we're up to 7 billion people on this planet. There are going to be people you don't agree with. There are going to be people you hate. And just not every cell of our being needs to be weaponized. I also dislike the class structures of progressivism. Why is it hard for me to say that? I hate how words are used to move people out of the upper classes now. So it's less about money, although I think money is an underlying component. Social classes or your already established social class is an underlying component. Actually, I'm going to change my mind on that right now. I think it's absolutely a component. If you don't have the opportunities that other people have, you are essentially nothing, and that nothingness is reinforced by not knowing the right words to say, and not knowing which words have been made bad, and not prioritizing the same priorities. If you, for example, are focused on living paycheck to paycheck, which might be me pretty soon, I'm trying to stop that from happening so I can attend classes and be smarter. But if you're focused on your own survival and you're not focused on presenting a certain image to the world in the form of fighting for social change, you are even lower class than you would be otherwise. So one time somebody I know posted something really funny for her birthday on Facebook. She said that she was celebrating her hot tranny mess of a life. I messed that up. It was like the funniest thing she ever said. I think she could be banned on Facebook if she said that now. It's been maybe 5 or 6 years. That was funny, but words like that, they were innocent at one point, and they were corrupted, and they were corrupted so that some people could have a villain. I don't like that. I don't like the corruption of all innocent interactions and all innocent surface traits. I think you can find corruption in everything. You can find a dark past in every word, in every piece of land that we live on. And the thing about trying to address those issues is it doesn't result in justice. It results in hating each other. It doesn't fix things. It results in revenge and hurting each other. So I really hate it. I hate it so much. And there, for some reason I was going to bring up video games. Why was I going to bring them up? But, oh yeah, the other thing about class, sorry, coming back to that, is how, you get all these people talking about basement dwellers, which is a fancy way of saying poor, which is one of the things I brought up with one of the people who said it. He's like, it's actually an expression. It doesn't really, but it's kind of like, okay, so is it bad when I say gay, tranny, or any other sort of slur? Because to me, those are just words, and I think I see enough leather daddies in my day-to-day life that it really doesn't matter to me. They're just words. And so anybody who refers to people who are kind of edgy, edgelords, they call them basement dwellers. It's like, okay, well, I presume that that's the equivalent of calling somebody a bum or poor or whatever, if you really believe in the power of words. And I think if you don't think about it at all, then your words can say a lot about you. So when people say things like that, it really says, I think I'm better than you because I have things you don't, and I know things you don't. And I also think that they're creating this class of so-called basement dwellers. It's like people like me who can kind of speak our mind because we don't have enough to lose. We're kind of like losers. And so it's either, sorry, I think my mouth just made a gross sound because I ate Snickers bars all night. Anyway, it's the people who don't have a lot who can still kind of speak their mind and be this form of edgy, which really isn't that edgy. Or it's the people who have so much power that they can speak their mind and it won't destroy them. But if you don't have that power, it affords you the opportunity to kind of like say things that might annoy people. You can make jokes that might annoy people, and that annoyance, it kind of manifests as this, what I think is a fake form of offense and disgust, and they hype themselves up to be disgusted because they need to feel disgusted. So this came into video games, I don't know why, but I do worry about video games because I think there's room for everybody. I think that if you really want social politics in your games, then you should either develop your own team to make those kinds of games, or you should contact people who know how to make games, who you know agree with you on those things, instead of trying to force everybody to change. Because I think one of the motivating factors of video games is the id. It is a part of ourselves that, when unchecked, can result in some bad behavior. And so it's no surprise that, yeah, there are going to be some gamers who are kind of like, they're not the kind of people you want to hang out with. It's like, that's what the industry is. And I think it's okay for the games to be that. If somebody's a dick, call them a dick. But, it's also an industry they created. Now I'm getting rambly, but what I'm trying to say is that the people who criticize this games industry are often a part of it. They're part of like selling violence to people, and I think imagined violence is healthy, and I think it's a good release, and it kind of keeps our id in check. And sometimes you get people who don't understand how to contain that. Those people are always going to be around, and I think when you try to make video games into these progressive things, it hurts them, it hurts their purity, and it turns them into these exercises in futile appeasement. That you cannot appease people who want this. So I think you need to accept that some of the base elements of it are comprised of people who want to engage in violence, imagine violence, and sometimes they're idiots, and that's whatever. If you want to call that toxic, then you're a baby, because you shouldn't be toxified by the behavior of 14-year-olds or people who never outgrew being 14. That's on them, and you shouldn't take the fun out of the product just because some people who you find offensive like that product make another product. If you don't like what people say, make some new friends. Stop trying to control everybody. And I say this, and when I say stop trying to control everybody, I'm not going to try to get anybody fired or try to change their product by when I tell them not to do something, I'm just going to say not to do it, because it's annoying and it ruins things. It corrupts innocence and it destroys art. So keep making games violent. Keep making them what they are. And if you want something that isn't that, then make that, because nobody's stopping you. That's what makes America great. I believe in the greatness of America. I believe in the greatness of Western civilization. I think freedom of speech is our most precious thing, and it has allowed us to reach this stage where people who take it for granted can take it for granted. So please stop trying to corrupt everything. Stop trying to take away speech. Stop trying to control what everybody says. Stop trying to scare people into hiding what they think. It's healthy to know what we think. It's healthy to have open fights where one side doesn't get to ruin the other side's life by tattling on them. I hate this tattler culture. This culture of enforcement through fear and tattling. Criminalize criminal behaviors. Don't make thought a criminal behavior. I need to fix the lights on my ceiling. I want to make them prettier. I don't really like how they look, but that's what you get to look at because it's dark. That's my window. Bye.